Do you need an amazing waterproofing product? Look no more. Basecrete is the #1 cementitious 100% waterproofing membrane with a proprietary blend of polymers and specialized content. An easy-to-use, all-in-one waterproofing membrane and bond coat that provides exceptional strength and unparalleled adhesion, yet remains flexible to absorb movement and the underlying concrete structure. With its range of application, Basecrete is the ideal solution to protect or repair any concrete structure. For use in swimming pools, roofs, terraces, foundations, cellars, deck, etc. It adheres directly to the substrate. No primer, no bond coat. How easy is that? Hey guys and gals, it's Heather with Talking Pools podcast on Hump Days with Heather. Hope you're having an amazing day. I wanted to touch base on coverage for holidays. I see a lot of chatter going on about coverage. What do you do? Like one of the things says, what do you do when you go on vacation, you don't have help to cover your route? That's a huge question that we should all know how to answer. I'm just going to take a moment to say, first off, if it's commercial, obviously you can't skip commercial. Big no, right? But you can move around a little bit to help accommodate for those vacation days. If it's residential, I always include vacation in my contract for every one of my clients. They have vacations in there. So if you are a weekly client of mine and you sign a contract with me, well, it doesn't have to be like a annual contract, right? Like my customers are month to month because, well, depending on the plan, when I cleaned pools, I had one plan that was an annual contract and my other two plans were just month to month. So let's say you did any of those, right? So on all of those, doesn't matter which plan you were, it states in my verbiage, you get the 5th week free because we're only billing you for 4 weeks out of the year, and that's to cover for vacation and holidays and bad weather. With that being said, let's say that their pool fell on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, so on and so forth. I don't know how long you're giving your employees off. Like my employees took an entire week off. The only time that this became an issue is December and New Year's, right? Because you can't skip 2 weeks in a row. And most of the time, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day falls on New Year's Day, like the week after, like it's the same day, right? So what we did is I allowed my employees to choose. Hey, I gave them the entire week of Christmas off. So like this year, Christmas is on Sunday, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So that week, even though it's like after Christmas, they'll have off for Christmas to spend time with their family. I'll probably give them that Friday off and then the following all week so they can plan for Christmas, do Christmas cooking, so on and so forth. And then all that week they'll have off. And then the following week is New Year's, right? So New Year's falls on the same as that. So we can't skip pools 2 weeks in a row. So what I did is I gave the employees the option to either do those pools that week of the time of Christmas that I gave off, like, later in the week, right? Not Monday and Monday because they just did that. It has to be a little bit later, so you gotta make sure you coincide with the days. Or they could do it on the day off that they're supposed to have for New Year's Day, because New Year's Day, we only gave them New Year's Day and the day after New Year's Day off because drunk, and I didn't wanna deal with that. I learned that a while back, like, a lot of people drink a lot on New Year's, and the next day with hangovers and headaches and shit performance and call-ins and all of that fancy shit. So, they got New Year's Day off and the day after because I didn't wanna deal with that shit. So, they had the option to do those 2 days, like, that week, the end of the week of Christmas that they had off, or they had to push their entire route and double up. Or I would pull a technician off of tech stuff to go clean pools, right? Unfortunately, sometimes that happens. Y'all are a team. Y'all need to make sure that y'all work together as a team. Of course, you always ask them and you incentivize them a little bit more because they're a technician, right? They're not there to clean pools. But at the same time, you still have a business to run, so you have to remember that. Like my technician's part of my job description states that if you have to cover a pool cleaning route, you're going to have to cover a pool cleaner route as part of your job description, even though you are technically a technician. If, for whatever reason, let's say we had a cleaner quit or they called in sick or whatever that case may be, right? So I would separate until we found somebody to replace them or whatnot. Always make sure that you're covering, everything that you need to cover as far as that goes. So make sure everybody's a team player and you pick the right people to help you. So, long story short, with this, move the pools around. They're not gonna, it's not gonna worry about missing 1 week, right? Algae isn't gonna grow when it's super cold for missing 1 week. Just make sure you bulk up on chemicals a little bit more, not ODing to get, scald or bad LSI. Just bulk up just a little bit more. Even like I've had it where I've left homeowners with a test strip and I'm like, hey, test this water. And if chlorine is low, go ahead and shock it. And we've left them 2 pounds of shock or whatever that pool needs to bring up that chlorine. That way everybody knows what's going on and there's no surprises. I will tell you that when you start to implement this, you're going to get a lot of pushback and you got to know how to handle this, right? So when we first started implementing this, we got a ton of pushback, like, because nobody reads what they sign. And they were like, well, that's bullshit. I've got family coming in and I want my pool clean. I'm like, it's in December. You're not even going to be swimming in the damn pool. And if you heat the pool, great. Then you should have told us or, blah, blah, blah. So make sure that they understand it and they read it. So what I had my office do when we first started implementing this is just, hey, I got your signed contract. I just want to make sure you understand, our holiday schedule, especially if they signed up around October, November, December. Make sure that there are zero questions about what's about to happen to let them know that your office policy is this, or your company policy, not necessarily your office, but your company policy states that you're going to take this day off, you're going to take this day off because you get this free or whatever, however you want to build that. So that covers my residential. So let's talk about if you have a commercial pool. So let's say you have commercial. So in Dallas, commercial is supposed to be done 3 times a week. If it's open, if it's not open, you can get away with 1 time, a week. And if you're at that 1 time a week because the pool is closed, what I do, so say you do it on Thursdays. Let's say it's Thanksgiving and you do it on Thursdays normally. You're going to take that Thursday pool because you obviously want to probably take off the day before Thanksgiving to cook and prepare Thanksgiving Day and the day after for Black Friday sales, right? So let's say you want to take off those 3 days. You're going to move that commercial pool to say Tuesday, right? All commercials as best as you can. You're going to pull some of your employees over to help you knock all of those commercial pools out. So you're just moving it a couple days sooner. So you're not missing the commercial days, but that way you're actually allocating the correct time for you to be able to take off. Now, let's say you are taking off entirely for the full week, right? Let's say you don't want to deal with it. Let's say you want a vacation, because everybody's got to have time set aside for themselves. Period. No exceptions. Whether that's an hour a day, whether that's a full week, whatever that may be. So when that happens, reach out. This is where your networking comes into play, right? Members, networking, getting to meet people. Like, I have people that I can call. I have 5 people off the top of my head that I can call right now. I'm like, hey, I need you to go clean this pool for me. I'm taking off, blah, blah, blah. Bam, done. Start building your network up saying, hey, I'm going to be taking off on vacation. Can you cover my route for me for this day? And this is what you're going to get paid. You will find friends, companies, they'll cover your route for you, right? Just coordinate and make sure it's somebody that you trust so they're not going to steal your people. Just keep that in mind, because that's very big in our industry, and unfortunately you're dealing with the wrong companies if that's going on with you. Like, if you don't have anybody that you can trust to not take your clients. And if you are one of those companies that take your clients, shame on you. Stop. We're all in this together, so we need to come and band together, right? Help one another out. So that way when they're on vacation, you can help them as well. And just keep that in mind during that week. Obviously, you're going to have to double down on some of the pools, so you made a little extra help. So that's my suggestion for how to handle vacation days, how to handle what you do. Make sure customers' expectations are where they're supposed to be. Because if you don't set that expectation, you're going to fail from the get-go. So set it and stick firm to it. All right, guys. Well, have an amazing day. Bye.